So here we want to find the Maclaurin series for f of x is equal to sine squared of x. Now in order to find the Maclaurin series for this function, we don't have to start from scratch. What we can do is make use of a common Maclaurin series. But before we can do that, the first step to representing sine squared x as a Maclaurin series is to rewrite it using a trigonometric identity. Specifically, we're going to use the trigonometric identity that sine squared of x is equal to 1/2 times 1 minus cosine of 2x. All right, so if we use this trig identity, f of x will be equal to this expression, which is the same as sine squared x. So we'll have f of x is equal to 1/2 times 1 minus cosine of 2x, and then we can distribute this 1/2 through this quantity, and f of x will be equal to 1/2 minus 1/2 times cosine of 2x. All right, and so this function right here, this expression is the same as sine squared of x. So if we can represent this function as a Maclaurin series, that would be the same as representing sine squared of x as a Maclaurin series. All right, and in order to do that, notice that this function includes the cosine function. We have cosine of 2x. We can use the common Maclaurin series for cosine to help us get started with representing this function, which is sine squared of x, as a Maclaurin series. And so the common Maclaurin series for cosine looks like this. We know that cosine x is equal to the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the power of n times x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. And this Maclaurin series is convergent for the interval from -infinity to positive infinity. All right, so this is the Maclaurin series that represents cosine x, and we can use this Maclaurin series to rewrite this function as a Maclaurin series. And we're going to do that step by step. So in this function, what we want to do is start with this part right here, cosine of 2x. We can represent cosine of 2x as a Maclaurin series by making a slight adjustment to this Maclaurin series for cosine. Right, all we have to do to represent cosine of 2x as a Maclaurin series is to replace x in this series with 2x. So this x right here is just going to become 2x, and we will have the Maclaurin series for cosine of 2x. So here's what that looks like. We'll have the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the power of n times 2x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. All right, and so that is the Maclaurin series that represents cosine of 2x. It's the same Maclaurin series that we had for cosine x, except x is replaced with 2x. All right, and so we can simplify this a little bit before we work on our next step. What we can do is take 2 and x to the power of 2n, and if we do that, our series will look like this. We'll have the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 2n times x to the power of 2n. And that will be divided by 2n factorial. All right, so we just took 2 and x to the power of 2n and multiplied them by each other. 2 to the power of 2n times x to the power of 2n is the same thing as 2x to the power of 2n. All right, so this is cosine of 2x as a Maclaurin series, but that is not the entire function that we need to represent as a Maclaurin series. We have 1/2 minus 1/2 times cosine of 2x. So let's work on the next step in representing this function as a Maclaurin series. What we can do next is multiply cosine of 2x by -1/2. -1/2 times cosine of 2x will be equal to this Maclaurin series, but multiplied by -1/2. So we'll have -1/2 times the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 2n times x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. All right, now at this point, we are going to benefit from splitting up 2x to the power of 2n to be these two parts. The reason why that's helpful is now we can multiply this 1/2 into this series and make a nice simplification to this expression. In particular, if you pay attention to this 1/2 and this 2 to the power of 2n, if we look at that over here, if we multiply that together, we'll have 1/2 times 2 to the power of 2n divided by 1. That's just going to be 2 to the power of 2n divided by 2. And this 2 would technically be 2 to the first power. And so since we have 2 raised to a power divided by 2 raised to a power, we can simplify this by subtracting this power from this power, right? Remember your rules of exponents, that if you're dividing two exponential values that have the same base, you can simplify it by subtracting the power in the denominator from the power in the numerator. And so if we do that, this will give us 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. We subtract this power of 1 from this power of 2n. So if we multiply 1/2 into this series and make that simplification, this 1/2 will disappear, and this 2 to the power of 2n will become 2 to the power of 2n minus 1. So let's work on that next. Negative 1/2 times cosine of 2x will be equal to the negative sum from n equals 0 to infinity of negative 1 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 2n minus 1 times x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. Okay, and so this series right here is the same as negative 1/2 times cosine of 2x. But once again, that is not quite the function that we want to represent as a Maclaurin series. We want to represent 1/2 minus 1/2 times cosine of 2x. So we have one more step to take care of here, which is to add a 1/2 to the front of that function right here. So if we do that, we can add 1/2 to this series as well. We'll have 1/2 minus 1/2 times cosine of 2x, and that will be equal to that 1/2 minus the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of negative 1 to the power of n times 2 to the power of 2n minus 1 times x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. All right, and so at this point, you could say that you were done. This expression right here, 1/2 minus this series, would be the Maclaurin series for this function, which is equal to sine squared x. However, we can simplify this further so that we don't have this 1/2 out front, but we do need to make a little bit of an adjustment. And in order to do that, we're going to need to look at the first couple terms of this series. All right, so just note that this right here technically would be a correct answer for the Maclaurin series of sine squared x, but we can simplify it further. And that's what I want to do next. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This will be equal to 1/2 minus the first couple terms of this series. I'm going to write them out because something very interesting is going to happen if we write out some of these terms. So if we start with n equals 0, we'll have negative 1 to the power of 0. That's just 1. So we'll have 1 times 2 to the power of 2 times 0 minus 1. 2 times 0 is 0 minus 1 will be negative 1. So we'll have 2 to the power of negative 1 times x to the power of 2 times 0, which will be 0, and x to the power of 0 is 1. All right, and that will be divided by 2 times 0, which is 0 factorial. And so we'll have 0 factorial. All right, then we'll add that to the next term, which is when n equals 1. When n equals 1, you'll have negative 1 to the power of 1, which is negative 1. So we'll have negative 1 times 2 to the power of 2 times 1 minus 1. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 is 1. So we have 2 to the first power times x to the power of 2 times 1, which is 2. And that is divided by 2 times 1 factorial, which is 2 factorial. Okay, and then let's write out one more term. We'll add this to another term, but we'll stop there. We're going to look at the term where n equals 2. That would be the next term. We have n equals 0, n equals 1. Now let's look at n equals 2. We'll have negative 1 to the power of 2. Negative 1 squared is positive 1. So we'll have positive 1 times 2 to the power of 2 times 2 minus 1. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So we'll have 2 cubed. And that's multiplied by x to the power of 2 times 2, which is 4. So we'll have times x to the 4th power divided by 2 times 2 factorial, which will be 4 factorial. All right, so we'll write 4 factorial. Okay, now we can simplify a little bit, but we really only need to pay attention to this first term. All right, I'm not going to simplify these two expressions all that much, but I am going to simplify this first one because doing so will give us a pretty interesting result. This is going to be equal to 1/2 minus 1 times 2 to the power of negative 1 times 1. We don't need to worry about those 1s. Anything times 1 is just itself. And 2 to the power of negative 1, we can make that exponent positive by moving 2 to the denominator. So we just have 2 to the first power in the denominator. and that would be multiplied by 0 factorial, which is 1. So what we have is just 1 divided by 2 times 1, which is 1/2. All right, and so that's interesting because this first term is 1/2, and if we have 1/2 minus these terms, this 1/2 would be negative, and so we'd have a positive 1/2 and a negative 1/2 that are going to cancel out. This 1/2 and that first term are just going to be eliminated altogether, and that's just going to leave us with these other terms. All right, so if we write out the other terms, we're going to have this negative 1 out front, so we'll have minus 2 to the first power times x squared divided by 2 factorial plus 1 times 2 cubed times x to the 4th power, so we'll have 2 cubed times x to the 4th power divided by 4 factorial, and so on. All right, now if we distribute this negative through these terms and remove these parentheses, that positive 1/2 is now negative. This term will be positive, so we'll make it positive, and this term will now be negative. So I'm going to erase that plus sign and make it negative. All right, and so then this positive 1/2 and this negative 1/2 will cancel out and just leave us with the rest of the terms of this series, but now they are of the opposite sign. And that's going to be important when we rewrite these terms using sigma notation. All right, and so that's what we want to do next. Rewriting these terms in sigma notation isn't actually going to be all that difficult. We don't have to rediscover the pattern for what happens to n in each term because that really didn't change all that much from our original series. The only thing that's changed is that the first term for n equals 0 is gone. It canceled out with this positive 1/2. So when we rewrite our series, we're going to start at n equals 1. And then we also need to make an adjustment to the sign of our terms, because now the first term is positive, and then we alternate between being negative and positive from there on out. All right, so here's what we're going to have. This will be equal to this series, except now we're going to start at n equals 1 for that first term. The n equals 0 term is gone, so we have the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of negative 1 to the power of n, but we do need to make an adjustment right here, right? For n equals 1, negative 1 to the power of n would be negative 1 to the first power, which is negative 1. So that first term would be negative, but it's not negative, it's positive, so we need to make an adjustment right here. This is how we will change what sign our terms have. They are the opposite of what they were before. All we have to do is add plus 1 to that exponent. Now we have negative 1 to the power of n plus 1, so when n equals 1, we'll have 1 plus 1 as the power, which is 2, and negative 1 squared is positive 1. So that will make the first term positive, and then the sign of the terms will alternate from there on out. All right, when n equals 2, you'll have 2 plus 1, which is 3, and negative 1 to the power of 3 is negative 1. All right, and so we're good. That is the only adjustment that we need to make to this series. Okay, so we can fill everything else in. We'll be multiplying by 2 to the power of 2n minus 1 times x to the power of 2n divided by 2n factorial. And this right here is the Maclaurin series that represents this function 1/2 minus 1/2 times cosine of 2x, which is equal to sine squared x. That is the function that we wanted to find the Maclaurin series for. All right, but one more thing. You might also be interested in the interval of convergence and the radius of convergence for this Maclaurin series, but thankfully that's going to be pretty easy. When you use a common Maclaurin series whose interval of convergence is from negative infinity to infinity, that's not going to change when you make small adjustments to the series like we did here. We changed x to be 2x, we multiplied by negative 1/2 and added 1/2, which isn't going to affect the interval of convergence. It's still going to be from negative infinity to infinity. All right, so we can add that on here. This series is convergent from negative infinity to infinity, which means that the radius of convergence is equal to infinity, and this series would be equal to sine squared x. Okay, and so this is the final answer to this problem. And if you wanted to, you can include the radius as well. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. But if you want to see some more examples of finding Maclaurin series for functions, feel free to check out the video that I have linked here on the screen. And if you want to see some other videos on Calculus 2 topics, feel free to check out my Calculus 2 playlist that I also have up here on the screen. All right, but with that, this is all I had for now, so I will see you next time.